What up, YouTube? This is Chris the Dream Nev and Shaq, bringing you another installment of one of my rants. This rant is about old school games, well, games as a whole. And this is something that I always wanted to say. Like I said in my other videos, thank God for YouTube because it gives us a forum to speak out, which, by the way, was one of my books, but cheap plug. Anyway, like I said, YouTube is the best TV that's not on TV. Another cheap plug. Anyway, when we talk about games, whether it be 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 64 bits, 128. By the way, Sonny, what is Xbox 360 and PS3? How many bits is that? I guess they stopped counting bits after a while.
Yeah, I don't think we're no longer talking about bits. We're just talking about HD.
You know,
That's what all it is now.
you know what's funny? You know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you something. That's what's funny. See, I'm gonna talk to the camera like Ernest used to talk to the camera back in the '80s. Right, Vern?
We're not that
Let
old.
me tell you something, Vern. No. We used to watch them when we were kids. Saturday mornings after Pee Wee's Playhouse.
I was born in the 90s.
Well, anyway, when I say the magic word, scream real loud. Yeah, no, just joking. Anyway,
We still don't know what you're talking about.
no, you know what's the funny thing about it is they stopped counting bits after a while. You know what was funny? When Xbox 360 came out and PS3 was coming out, they showed a little thing, and you used to work for GameStop at this point. They showed a video with ducks in the bathtub. That's that's how they claim the veracity of the engine with ducks in the bathtub. Really? Really? Well, anyway, I want to say is I'm a fan of video games in total. I never liked when I went to high school and people would talk about, oh, I have Genesis, oh, I have Super Nintendo, oh, you should get a real system, get a Sony PlayStation or N64. I was the type of kid that played whatever. If it caught my eye, I played whatever. Don't get me wrong, I like the new and latest things. I'm a collector as well, but things are getting too damn expensive. First of all, I mean, $65 for a game? Really? Second thing is when I was in high school my senior year, God bless the fact that I was a good student. Cause I used to play video games till 1 o'clock in the morning in my bed. Sometimes I would sleep with this system. Hey, no dirtiness. Because I would fall asleep with a controller in my hand. I remember back in those days with the PS1, it was so cheap. $19.99 for a video game. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. I tell you something. But I do love 8-bit stuff too. When I had my Sony PlayStation and my N64, on the downstairs area of my house, I also had hooked up my Nintendo and my Super Nintendo. And people would start calling me Christopher Arcadian for whatever reason. That was when I was on my video game high, when I was a senior in high school. I would even call up Nintendo and suggest certain things. I called up every existing game system place to say that don't come out with the new systems right away. Let us enjoy. This is what we like. This is how we do. Before we even get to enjoy the new stuff, they already, the stuff that's now, they're already talking about the new stuff. It's like life is short. Let us breathe in the moment. Let us live. Let us take a shit, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? But that was about it. But regardless of whatever, I'm gonna like what I like, and if I can manage getting a new system, I will. If I don't, I don't. But nobody tells the people, the old man in the park that play dominoes, to stop playing dominoes. People still break out the Monopoly thing. Why should we throw away our old system just because they're outdated? It's just a game like any other game. People still playing cards, even though we have solitaire, the new wave, electronics. People still playing it the old way. So that's my opinion. And also, I'm hearing a rumor that in a couple of years they might just strictly be downloading content. Don't like it. Don't like it.
You grow up, you big baby. Go with the new millennium.
No, come on, you agree with me at certain points. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Let me just say what I got. Say, let me make my statement. I would love to do it, but first of all, my house is not equipped to be downloaded, and I don't want to be asking my cousins that take 10 years to do it. And plus, it's good holding something, and it's good seeing the art. Don't get me wrong, I download some stuff. I have people download. It takes a long time. I don't do it personally because I can't do it physically, but I have people do it. It's good to have everything lined up and to have a backup just in case the system fucks up and whatever. At least you have a backup and you actually own the thing. That's like people who download comic books and look at it on the screen and say it's part of their collection. No, it's not. So I suggest the video game community, just like how they said vinyl was out and now it's back again because of the yuppies. And I know a lot of things about yuppies because I live in Park Slope. Look around, show them around. This is Park Slope, everybody. This is Park Slope, Douglas Street. And back around. Thank you. Just like you brought vinyl back. By the way, people could get Ludacris and Snoop Dogg in vinyl now. At participating stores near you. The one thing that's funny is that I went to a Circuit City which no longer exists. I went to a Circuit City a year ago. They didn't have VHS. They didn't have VHS tapes. They didn't have audio tapes, but they had 8-track. What the fuck? Let me repeat that. What the fuck? What is going on? But when people come around and talk about what's new, what's not new, it all depends on people's taste. Like, for example, I'll give you a good example. Christina Aguilera's album, Back to Basics. She had that old record feeling, the crinkle before it starts and the mystic thing. She wanted that old school sound. We went through all this digital age and all that stuff just to go back to the old way. People just not thinking. But I'm not saying new is not bad. I'm not saying new is bad, but sometimes what's new is not always good either. But like for example, the TV stations, they use Betamax for their tapes, yes? Betamax. Before, VHS was something called Betamax. Don't know because I was too young. But every TV station uses Betamax. That's a tip for you guys that didn't know that. Yep. Whatever you're watching is done by a Betamax. So, going to talk about old games, when it's funny about games and all this stuff, with a video game, like, for example, Mario, when he's swimming, that little song that comes on, or when he goes into the little castle before you hit the flag, or Sonic, when you go into that extra level that goes dun, 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 dun. Well, anyway, you got the point. when it comes to games, everybody has a soft spot. Everybody has their little favorites. Me, I'm partial to the old school fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Ninja Turtles, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario. I never really was into sports or not like that. I was always into cartoons, and then when wrestling came along, it was like a live action cartoon. So I love video games. Speaking of wrestling, also the prelude to what we have now in the SmackDown versus Raw era and the TNA type Impact, and the prelude to that would be the Royal Rumble for Genesis and Super Nintendo, where you could actually do the moves. There was more there was more than 8 characters. That's when I'm glad that they moved up when they added more than 8 characters. And you get more the dimension of the character. I always love those games and still play them to this day. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm just saying this because I'm just tired of all the talk. Like I go into GameStop sometimes and you have people saying, "Oh, you still play that? Oh, you still have that?" Shut up, man, and buy yourself some new shoes and stop wearing your daddy's Pumas. And buy yourself some new underwear that's not from the 80s. And just play what you like and hell with everybody else. So my name is Chris Neves, and now you know what the deal is.